News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users. I'm your host, Gary Baumgarten, and now on demand on iTunes. Well, we've talked on the show a few times about global warming, and it's a fact that we have global warming. It's a scientific fact. We can argue about the cause of it and what our human contributions are or not, but it's happening. And nowhere is it more pronounced and recognizable probably than at Antarctica. I have a couple of articles that I pulled during my research. It shows that studies indicate that there are rising sea levels. The Antarctic ice sheet is melting. The Brits a few years ago conducted a study which indicated that global warming is melting the ice in Antarctica faster than had been previously thought. And they're very much concerned about the overall results to our environment, not just there, but elsewhere in the world as well. Well, somebody's got to go out there and document what the heck is going on, and my guest has done just that. Sebastian Copeland has, I would say, written, but has actually photographed an award-winning book. It's a gorgeous, heavy book called Antarctica, the Global Warning, which documents the erosion of icebergs due to global warming. Sebastian was named winner of the International Photography Award for Professional Photographer of the Year in the book category. Former Russian President Mikhail Gorbachev wrote the foreword. The introduction is by Leonardo DiCaprio. How did you get these guys to help you on this project?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show.
No, thank you for being here. This is a great topic. And the book, by the way, folks, is absolutely gorgeous. It's disturbing to see the Antarctic melt away, but the imagery here is just unbelievably beautiful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I like to think that Antarctica is a one-and-shoot environment because it's just showing up, you already get amazing results. And so with just a little bit of work, it's a photographer's Shangri-La from a visual perspective. From an environmental perspective, of course, it's a place of reckoning in in an environment where you really need to take stock of what is going on. There's nothing quite like visiting environments like Antarctica or the Arctic or areas where glaciers are receding to really get a sense of what's going on. And so I went down there on my in my capacity as a board member for Green Cross International. The U.S. is Global Green USA. And I just wanted to look firsthand as to what was going on down there, and the end result was that I ended up shooting a lot of images and creating this book.
And how did you get these two guys to write your forward and introduction?
Well, Mikhail Gorbachev President Gorbachev is the president of Green Cross International,
okay.
And so I'm on the board of Global Green USA, which is the U.S. affiliate to that organization. So that was by the work that I do for the organization and my relationship with President Gorbachev, I got him to agree to do the forward for it. He obviously has a vested interest in promoting an advocacy message for on behalf of the poles and climate change. So, and then Leo is a fellow board member for the organization, and I've worked with him a few times on a couple of initiatives, and he's been very active with us at Global Green USA. So, he's led his participation and presence on a variety of different initiatives and fundraising efforts and whatnot. So I approached him with that, showed him some photographs, and he was in.
So global warming is a reality, right? I mean, there's no disputing. It's happening. It's documented. We see that there's a change in climate. Why do you think it becomes a political issue? I mean, if it's a scientific fact, it's a scientific fact. How does it become a political issue?
Well, what happened, the science behind climate change and global warming has been around for a long time. This is not a new science. It says, the computer models are getting more and more sophisticated, so our projection and our ability to estimate the degree of change is getting a little more accurate, and there's more funding available and whatnot. But this has been going on for about 40 years. This is not a new principle. The real issue, I think, is that it's never a simple fact of let's do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. We've been pulling carbon out of the earth for about 150 years, and we're now pouring it into the atmosphere at the rate of about 70 million tons a day every 24 hours. This is mainly in the form of coal and oil and natural gas. Those represent enormous figures, enormous amount of money, of course, and it's listen, the ExxonMobil. Its profit, its yearly profit, is superior to the sum of all the car manufacturers in the world. This just gives you an idea of the scope of power and the amount of money that is being generated by one energy company. And they've got a business model that is functioning just great. They're making tons of money as the supplies are reducing. The price is going up. This represents tons and tons of profit, and there's a very, very powerful lobby in keeping things as it is. Now, I don't want to point the finger too specifically to the energy companies, although it's very easy to do, specifically with ExxonMobil, who's been exposed with running a counter-information campaign by surreptitiously funding lobby groups or special interest groups to basically give the illusion that there was a debate on climate change. This, incidentally, was exposed in the media last January. You can find it in any number of media, from the Washington Post to the New York Times to blah, blah, blah. So they spent $36 million over the course of about 8 years by funding a counter-information campaign, all the while, on the other hand, pretending to be funding legitimate science on climate change, essentially what the tobacco companies have been doing for many, many years. So this is a way to really confuse the issue, and it basically gives the media the impression that there is actually a debate, and then it becomes a matter of an opinion, and before you know it, the public is confused and nobody gets behind it.
Well, we just saw in the Wall Street Journal a few days ago, I'm sure you read it, a scientist, and there have been other scientists, writing an op-ed piece saying that global warming is just a natural cycle, and it has nothing to do with us driving our cars or any other use of fossil fuel.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen. On the one hand, to that I have two answers. Anybody, I think, who questions the nature of climate change at this point has got to have their head examined. That we all agree on, I think, anyhow. The fact that some people are questioning the human activities as being the source of climate change, I just want to go, on the basis that 90% of all scientists agree on the fact that climate change is as a source in human-made activities, and that there is also, possibly a natural cycle in creating a changing climate because of the cycle of the Earth and whatnot. But I'll just offer this, as I said, we are exponentially growing as a population on this planet. Our industrial activities associated with our demographic growth is exponentially growing as well. With that, we have people claiming a stake into the energy market, using electricity that is funded by either natural gas or oil, using transportation, building